Hello and welcome. My name is Christina from Empowered Creator. I am a mindset and conscious manifesting teacher and coach, and this is my YouTube channel. Here I talk about all things law of assumption, mindset, conscious manifesting, the quantum universe, and a lot more. And my goal is to simplify everything without the fluff. So if you guys like this content and you would like to see more of it, I would love it if you would subscribe to this channel, comment on this video, like it, share it, and stick around. Also, if you need help with your specific situation, I offer one-on-one coaching, email coaching, as well as custom subliminals for whatever needs you may have. I also have a self-study mini course, Telepathically Connect with Your Specific Person. So if you're interested in any of these services, the links are below in the description box. Click on them and they're going to take you to my website. With all that being said, let's dive into today's video. In today's video, I want to talk about how to deal with your doubts when you're manifesting your desires, whatever these desires may be, and how you can actually overcome those doubts and not let them affect your manifestation. So this is what I'll be discussing in today's video. Stay tuned. So I know most of you, if not all of you, can probably relate with this. Manifesting a desire, doing your inner practice, doing your techniques if you have chosen to do techniques, but then having all these doubts pop up, which can come periodically, or some days are worse than others, or your dominant state might still be a state of, I'm doubting that my manifestation can actually pan out, I'm doubting that I can actually have my desire in the 3D. So how do you deal with all that? How do you overcome those doubts in an easy and seamless and effortless way that will allow you to move on from those doubts and keep your focus and keep your vision on where it should be, which is your state of the wish fulfilled? So while there are many ways and techniques to overcome doubts, or at least try to alleviate the doubts in your mind, and that includes, for example, flipping your thoughts when you become aware of having doubtful thoughts. I know a lot of coaches recommend that, and it's not that it's actually wrong or it's bad in any way. I just personally tend to find it exhausting. I used to do it once upon a time. After some time, it became so exhausting that I felt like I needed something better, something easier, something more effortless. So let me tell you guys, the easiest and most effortless way I have found of dealing with your doubts when manifesting a desire is to actually identify within yourself where they're coming from, and at the same time have the awareness to come back to who you really are. In other words, you identify your doubtful thoughts, your opposing thoughts, as coming from your ego mind, from your fears, from your insecurities, from the lower part of yourself that actually only can see the 3D, what the evidence of the senses show, the circumstances, the old story, versus actually identifying with your higher self, who is your infinite wisdom. It's that part of yourself that is connected to the one consciousness, the one source, the infinite intelligence, if you will. And that part of yourself that has all the answers, that part of yourself that knows you can have your desire and that your desire is actually yours. And this might come as a surprise, but you actually want to accept the fact that you have doubts. You want to accept that this part of yourself will always have some doubts. You want to accept that your doubts, especially towards things that you might have resistance to, that you may consider more difficult as manifestations, you are always going to have some degree of doubt until you see them manifest in the 3D. And then guess what happens? If you're still having resistance to them, you are going to get new doubts about the new situation and the new circumstances. So you want to accept that there is a part of yourself that will always have some doubt. And once you accept that and embrace that, you want to push that to the side. And remember and remind yourself who you truly are at your core. You want to remind yourself that you are pure, unconditioned consciousness at your core. It is what Neville Goddard called your I am. That is your awareness of being without any conditions attached to it, without any adjectives, without any identifications attached to it. You just are. You just be. You are awareness of being. You are awareness of existence. That is what and who you are at your core. And so once you remember that, and once you remind yourself of that truth, you are free to put your doubts to the side and connect with your higher self, who knows that your desire is yours. It is meant for you. It is meant to be. It is meant to be manifested, and that you can do it and that you will do it. The doubts can exist. The doubts have to exist. but they don't have to sabotage you. They don't have to hinder you in any way. They don't have to be an obstacle for you in any way. Let them be, and instead shift your attention and focus your attention on what you actually want. And that is being in your state of the wish fulfilled. You don't try to fight and battle your doubts. You don't try to shift them. You don't try to force them to go away. You can just accept them and instead shift your focus and your attention on your higher self and what your higher self knows about your desire and about your manifestation. The other interesting thing that tends to happen when you follow this process and when you develop this mindset and when you adopt this attitude, and because you're constantly in an expansion of your consciousness, that is your life journey, it is a constant expansion of your consciousness, you will notice that as your consciousness expands and evolves, your doubts might change as well. So the doubts that you had in the beginning of your journey might now give their place to different kinds of doubts. Also though, the more you connect with your higher self, the more you identify with your higher self, the more you keep coming back to who you really are at your core, the less doubts are going to be there. You will start seeing them eliminating themselves little by little and going away on their own over some time. And the ones that may remain, they won't bother you anymore. They won't be sabotaging you in any way. You won't let them get in your way in any shape or form. So let your doubts be. You don't have to battle them. You don't have to hate them. You don't have to be annoyed at them. You don't have to let them trigger you. Just remember who you are and always return to that truth within yourself and always go back to seeing things from that perspective and that point of view. With all that being said, I'm going to wrap up this video here. I intend that this has helped. As always, I very much appreciate you guys being on this channel, watching this content. I love making this content for you. And as always, I look forward to seeing you all at the next video. Until then, take care and bye-bye.